no, no, lag. No, 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 no,
Yo,
Welcome.
hey, hey,
What's up?
what's good?
Good to see you.
Yep, likewise, likewise.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking time for this. We know you're on tour presently.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. But all good, man. Always a pleasure, you know. It just was a little bit time managing when you're on tour. So, but yeah, I'm glad it worked out now.
Perfect. Perfect. We just started. So, yeah, you're not that late.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes.
We're just excited for next Saturday when the Snowgoons will hit our little city, Randers.
Yes, man. Yeah, gonna be dope. It's also obviously the first time for me to come up there, since Sick performed there already. And yeah, I mean, that's gonna be definitely dope. It's also it's crazy because this is our first show this year, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely a slow start this year because it feels like even if we already passed Corona and everything, it's still like the whole life thing is kind of still a little bit slow, I would say, and so but this is really good that we now finally set it off this year with this show in Renders. Yep, that's dope.
Yeah. It's gonna be mad fun.
Absolutely. And we know that you both work with different projects with other artists as well. So, but it's brilliant to hear. It's a pure Snowgoon show that's going to hit us.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. Yep. I don't think even we ever have never been in Aarhus, or did we? Sick? Do you remember? I
Um,
think
I
not
think
as
I think
Snowgoons,
I
right?
think once. I think
Yeah.
once, or maybe it was just me at an AOTP show. I can't remember. It's such a long time ago. If we were,
Right.
it's been mad long since
Exactly.
we were.
Yeah. It must have been over 10 years or
Oh
something.
Way
wow!
Yeah.
more actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, I remember, yeah, it was kind of a sort of a Snowgoons tour. I was there with back in the days with Chief Kamachi,
Hmm.
Reef, and somebody else though. Like we was in Aarhus too, yeah. And I organized the tour, but it wasn't really necessarily a Snowgoons tour because at that time, this might be even before we actually really put out the first Snowgoons album. So
Hmm.
that's how long it is.
Wow!
Yeah.
Might be 2006 or something. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. Time flies, man. It's crazy.
When
Yeah, it really does.
sorry,
Sorry.
when was the last time you were in Copenhagen?
In Schöppelhahn, damn. It's been also a minute to be
Hmm.
honest. Actually, I believe it was last year. I was there with Master Ace, because I'm also around with Master Ace when he's touring for most parts. And I think I've been there with him. Yeah, it must have been last year, summer or something in August. So it's almost a year ago as well.
Cool. But
Yeah.
no for a very long while.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I always enjoyed in Denmark, in Scandinavia in generally. Even I know Norway and Sweden is different, but it's always nice to be up there in the north. And I just simply also like the winter time in general. So and and I know it's also beautiful summertime over there, but for me always when you think about it in Europe, a lot of people always when they talk about Scandinavia in general, it's always kind of like the winter time, right? Because it's obviously a lot of snow there and stuff, and even when the rest of Europe has not so much snow. So that's what a lot of people always consider. At least for me, the first thing when you got in mind is like when you think about Scandinavia, you think about like the wild nature there with a lot of snow and all of this beautiful landscape and stuff. So for me, always, since I'm a winter guy, basically, I always loved Scandinavia, even before I came out there the first time.
Sounds amazing. And I gotta
Yep.
ask, actually, you mentioned snow yourself. How about the name Snowgoons? If we can get an original story from the
Hmm.
founding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, me and Dad Gunner actually founded the Snowgoons back then, and Dad was always a fan of a certain comic. It's like an American comic called Calvin and Hobbes, and
Hmm?
in that comic there is a two-headed snow monster, and he called it one time the Snowgoon, and so somehow we took that name, and it kind of fitted in a way, and it was cool because the word goon obviously is like a little bit comes more from the grimy part of hip hop in a way. and it just fitted so good and it sounded good. So that's how we basically came up with the name, you know. And then obviously pretty shortly after, Sick was added to the mix, and yeah, and that's what we right now, the Snowgoons.
Brilliant, brilliant. And talking about Sig, actually, because we're quite proud about Sig, what he's done through his career. I mean, Denmark is a very, very small country compared to the rest of the world, so it's quite unique to have a guy like Sig doing his thing. Sometimes I actually think he doesn't get the recognition domestically that he deserves.
True.
But can you tell us about when you first time met Sig and you started working together?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sig, you wanna
Yeah.
tell the story?
Yeah, I can throw that in there. Well, I opened up for Necro in this was in 2007, long time ago, and I opened up for Necro, and DJ Illegal was there with Reef the Lost Cause. They were also
This was in Copenhagen, right?
This was in Copenhagen,
Yep.
yeah. So, and you know, the week before that show, or a couple weeks before that show, I was in New York, and I saw these Snowgoons posters everywhere, like, and I started, you know, to dig into like who that was. Like back then, it was only Det and DJ Legal, and so basically, you know, I found out that they were like European producers. So that's how I heard about them, you know, and I checked out their music and all. And then by coincidence, I was opening up for Necro like a couple of weeks later, and DJ Illegal was there with Reef, like I said. And then we started talking. I was like, "Yo, so you're from Snowgoons?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know, that's my group." And I was like, "I saw your name everywhere in New York a couple of weeks ago. You know, like that's crazy." And so I gave him my CD, and he heard about me too, because I worked with some of the same guys that they worked with. So I gave him my CD, and he bumped it and he liked it, and then he was like, "Yo, we need to do something together." And that's how it kind of started. Then we started talking, and in the beginning, I wasn't really a member of Snowgoons per se, but I was doing a couple of the beats still and helping out and being a feature here and there, and you know, and then it just made sense because we worked so much together. It was like we were just a team anyways. Why not just join forces and call it Snowgoons, you know?
Right.
So that's how it
Exactly.
kind of started, you know.
Yeah.
But we actually toured a couple of years before actually making me a member of the group, you know.
Really official, yeah. I mean, it was just like, I do remember I actually even missed Sig's show on that tour because I was busy on the merch table running around, and I didn't see his show, so I still didn't heard the music on that evening. But since he gave me the CD, I was checking out the CD the next day when we left Copenhagen. I remember actually very vivid because with the guys I'm with, I believe, yeah, Reef, of course, they wanted to go Christianity, right? So we pulled up there, and I'm really not interested in like weed or anything like that. So I was waiting in the car so they could do their thing in Christianity. And in that meantime, I do remember on the parking lot, I was like grabbing the CD, and then I saw like, oh shit, yeah, there's Ill Bill on it, Slane, and a lot of guys that like Six said that we worked as well, you know. And I was putting in the CD, and then I was like, oh, this is dope, and I was bumping every track, and then the next track, and I was like, yo, man, this is super dope. And then at the time, I didn't even realize that Sick also produced those beats, you know. And I was like, oh man, he sounds like really a rapper from the US, and is super dope. And I was like, man, who produced these fire beats too, man? That this album is dope. And then when I hit him up, like he told me that he did the beats, and I was like, holy shit, you know, like it was definitely crazy for me. And then we right away we start talking, and we realized we just like kind of the same, you know. We like the same type of music. We do the same kind of everything basically, you know. So it was just a natural fit. Like we already knew we had the kind of the same experience with coming up with hip hop and the way we love hip hop and all of this, you know. So we clicked right away. So that was the dope part.
Right, yeah. And also like me and Manu started talking a lot, like on a daily basis, basically, from everything, like from producing to people in the business or whatever. And then you know, we kind of figured out, like, since I rapped and he DJ'd, we might as well start doing some shows together. So we started jumping on tours with different artists, and in the beginning it was basically just DJ Illegal and Sicknature, but yeah, later, like once it made sense, we started just doing Snowgoon shows, and so yo, look who joined.
How you doing?
Welcome.
What's up, Jenna?
Evening.
Jn Ration in the building.
Yes,
We look forward to on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I'm really proud to be there.
Mhm.
It's gonna be dope.
We're happy, we're excited.
Very much.
Dope, man. Yeah, we already planning out the trip, going up there and everything. It's like I said before, it's our first show this year, so we're really ready to kick off the dust, and start going back into the live shit. Yeah, man, super excited.
That is
Yeah.
perfect. We are ready to welcome you. And when Jn Ration has joined us now, could we please get that story as well? How you started rapping, how you hooked up with the Goons, and joined the show.
Yeah, I think it started with my old group, the High Five group in Germany. And after a long time, after 5 years, we go separate ways. And then I found Manu, and Manu found me. It was, yeah,
Hip hop love.
is music finds everybody. It means it goes the same way, right? So if you're in the music business, you found other people with it.
Makes sense.
Makes
Yeah, I had to push her to do her music, It's like she said, she was with the group for a couple years and nothing really developed. And when we got together, because just to be clear here for people that know, me and Jn Ration, of course, we actually getting married this year at the end of the year. So
Congrats.
when we got together, it wasn't even about the music, because I remember the first couple months when we've been together, we have obviously, of course, talked about music, but not really like for Jn Ration as an artist doing music, right? We was just like talking about the music that we love and what songs and whatnot. And then I remember in the car, sometimes I play new beats that I do in the car because in the car is a different sound. So I just listen to beats for reference in the car. And then I was playing some beats. And then Jn Ration was like, "Oh man, this is a really dope beat. I have a 16 for this beat." And I was like, "Oh," because in my mind, I know she was rapping, but it was never really a topic that she's gonna go back to the rapping thing, right? So it has just never been like a topic per se in our relationship. So I was like, "Oh well, yeah, if you have a 16, then spit it." And she was actually spitting the 16 on the beat in the car, and I was like, "Yo." I really liked that, and I'm always being honest, man. I mean, I wouldn't tell her like that it's dope if it's not, right? Because I mean, what's the point to gas somebody up? And even if we're in a relationship, I would have told her like, "Oh well, yeah, I give her my honest opinion." But I really liked it. I was like, "Yo, this is really super hot. We have to go in the studio and record." And then first she didn't even want to do it. She's like, "Ah, nah, it's just like a 16 and." I'm not really focused on music and like that. I was like, well, if you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. But I'm going to tell you, you have talent, and I really liked what I hear. So you might as well just go into the studio, record it, and see how it goes, just for fun. And well, a month later, I guess that's what we did basically, and that's how she started her spark again with the music. Now she enjoying doing new music, and that's really cool.
That's a great
Yes,
story. That's a great
that
story.
is
There
a
we
great
go. Nice
story.
to see. Thanks for telling that. And just to the people who's watching tonight, we really appreciate your dropping some questions in the chat. We hope to catch up with them a little bit later. So thank you for hanging out.
Yes.
Word.
And if we could go back to the Snowgoons just for a bit here, because at least from our perspective, I see you as some of the leaders internationally of pushing hardcore hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
What goals and ambitions do you still have with the music business?
Well, like you already said, business is business, right? But I think what really makes the Snowgoons is that it's that we always put the music first, you know. So with that being said, it's like I think I can speak for pretty much everybody in Snowgoons that we're not driven by, let's say, like chart success or like big money success, you know. Of course it's always a part, and it has to be there, but this is not our main focus, you know. We still love the music, we still love to doing music, especially, you know, because I know that for myself, and I know that goes pretty much for Sick, but he can of course speak for himself too then. But for me, for example, I just doing beats, right? Sometimes that's my kind of getaway drug, to just like put my head into music and doing some beats, and I just love to do that even after like 20 years of still doing it, you know. And I think this is what makes the Snowgoons, because we do this from the heart, and we do this because we love this shit, you know, and not driven too much by money or success, or too much breaking our heads about like, oh, you know, this is the new sound, so now we have to adopt and to be more successful, or we should work with like maybe bigger names, and you know, all of this stuff. This comes second to us, you know. We always put the music first. We put our heads together and be like, yo, you know what, we love this kind of shit, so let's go ahead with this one, you know. And I think that's definitely a part of the Snowgoons, what makes the Snowgoons, because people see that's authentic and people can hear that, you know. And yeah, I guess this is definitely for me the part why Snowgoons are where the Snowgoons is, basically. Oh, the little doggy. Nice.
But that makes sense. I mean, it's both a passion project. I mean, with the Snowgoons, do you feel the same, Sig?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, I look at us as being fans of hip hop, basically, and just being in the culture, and just doing something that we love doing, some like trying to give something to the people that we received, basically, like something that inspired us, and hopefully we can inspire other people to do some hip hop, kind of paying it forward in a way, but also just being fan of music, and just love doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Illegal said, it was an escape for him, and it definitely is for me also. Also, when I write lyrics, or if usually I close the door when I do beats, because I just want to be in my zone alone. You know what I mean? Like, and just staying there for a couple of hours or whatever it takes, you know. And that's definitely also my getaway. But so like Illegal said, like it's something that we do and love, but it's also something that we feel like sharing with the world, and you know, and hopefully it gives something to the people. You know what I mean? So I think that's the primary reason why we're doing what we're doing. So yeah.
And you get to travel the world, you know,
Yeah.
performing around, sharing the love for the music genre. Do you have anything? I know it's a weird question, but do you have any favorite places in the world where you love to perform?
Oof, yeah, well, if I go with me, I mean, well, I guess it also changes with the time, you know. We had like really a buzz like maybe 10 years ago in Switzerland for some reason, you know. We had, I mean, we still have, of course, a lot of fans over there, but it seemed like, because, you know, obviously also time changes, music changes a little bit, the music style. But I definitely can recall in 10 years ago in Switzerland, whenever we went to Switzerland, it was always like super live, and we had always a lot of fun, you know. And Swiss kids, they are like really into like the boom bap shit, so they get really energetic, and it was just always to me definitely special. Even if Switzerland is not so far from where I live, basically I can drive there with the car in 2 hours. Has always been a fun. But you know, overall, I don't really want to make it up to like any country or places, because it's really more the experience that you have. You can have like a super dope show somewhere and it's just cool, and then you can go into a nice place and have, let's say, like just the average show, you know. So yeah, for me it has definitely been like Switzerland for a while, but also, you know, we went to a lot of really exotic places, you know, from like the Philippines to Faroe Island, or
I
we toured in Canada, East
Right.
Coast.
I
Pretty.
really loved the Columbia show.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Colombia.
yeah,
You know, like
I
we
mean,
literally been all over the world, man. Yeah,
yeah,
Colombia was crazy
yeah.
too. Yeah, exactly. You know.
It was super crazy. It was fun because we didn't really know what to expect. It was a part of the world where we've never been before. And I just remember going there and seeing this venue where it was like the stage was like this this you know it was up like this, like some stairs or whatever. So
Hmm.
people were actually standing on the stairs to watch us, and then there was a lot of people downstairs, and I didn't think that it would be like this packed, but it was super super packed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was just fun, like walking out on this weird balcony kind of stage, and people just going, I don't know, super crazy.
Right.
And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. So Colombia was definitely like a really really fun show, and I just loved it there, man. It was a really cool vibe. I never went to South America before this, so this was my first time in South America, and it was really exciting. And you hear so much about Colombia. It's just a beautiful place, man. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
really really nice there, good people and everything. So yeah, it was really fun, man. So, but yeah, like Illegal said, like we've been all over the world. Like, it's hard to pick like a favorite spot.
Right.
But obviously that there has been highs and lows, and it's definitely, we had some super fun shows here and there. And but I would say like Colombia is definitely one of those shows that I remember, because it was so special in a way.
Right. Yeah.
First time in South America and everything. So, but again, man, like there's just so many crazy shows, and like Illegal said, like Switzerland was popping at one point. It had a lot of shows there, and yeah, but we've been
Right.
all over the place. It's just been a lot of fun. So yeah.
And you know that the crazy thing is too, we literally been around the world for hip hop, and I when I say literally, I know I told this story a couple times, but this is really what happened. So we left Europe and went to the East Coast of America and did some shows there with NBS, our homies, toured the whole coast up, Connecticut, Pennsylvania and all that, and then continued to the West Coast, had a layover there in LA, and then we flew further from there all the way to the Philippines. So we already circled the world halfway around. Then we had some shows in the Philippines, Manila, Pampanga, and stuff. So it was fun too. And then when we flew back, actually, we flew continuing that circle basically back to Europe. So in I guess it was in a span of like 6 or 7 weeks. We literally circled the whole world, the whole
Mhm.
globe, and so that's what I'm always saying, like hip hop brought really the Snowgoons around the world, and I really mean it literally. And it's
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
it's
It's
cool to
literally.
say if you think about it, because we literally did it. So
Mhm.
that's what we always also be very thankful for hip hop, and to seeing places. And that's actually also a big part why I love hip hop and love the music, because you'll be able to travel places and you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna see new faces, and it always has been I have always been a traveler in a way, because I guess I never did it when I was young. And so now I have the opportunity to go and, experience new places, maybe places I would have never ever went to, on my own. But fortunately, I've been there because of the music, represent hip hop and partying with the people, and all of that good stuff. So that's why one big reason why we always gonna be appreciative about hip hop.
Mhm.
That's a great answer, and it must be a very special feeling as well. Traveling to the other side of the world where people are digging your music.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. In like Six said, in Colombia, it was just crazy. We figured, we always adjust our shows sometimes a little bit wherever we go. And we have some songs where we actually have like Spanish samples in the songs, but we don't really perform them usually. Because technically, I mean, we got already so many albums and we could play hundreds of songs technically if we just want to play the songs. So, but we figured we have to put like those Spanish kind of samples into the set a little bit to represent, right? And I mean, what is better than to represent the language of somebody where they're from, right? Because everybody at the end of the day is also proud of his country and maybe from where he's coming from, his origin, where he was born. So when we played those songs that we usually never play in our show, I do remember we put the first song on and the Spanish sample come on. There was some singing, and the crowd was going nuts. Me and Sig, we just looked at each other. We was like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" Like there was like really bugging out in that show. That was crazy. I never forget that moment. That was something really special, you know.
Right, for sure.
Latino style in South America. That's freaking awesome. But I want to
Yeah.
ask to all three of you actually, because I know I know you have worked with some legendary rappers over the years on different projects and albums and stuff like that. But if I asked you if you could work with one artist which is deceased for one track, who would you go for?
Sig, you want to start?
I was hoping you'd start.
Okay. Yeah, I
Because
can
that's
start
really
too.
tough, man. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are 90s heads, right? And so we have to definitely go back to the 90s. And since sadly, of course, the 90s getting in the ages, we're losing more and more of our legends and heroes, right? But for me, definitely, I think one of a highlight would be probably Big L, you
Mhm.
know, because
Yeah.
he was definitely a crazy lyricist, and I think he was so versatile. He could like kill any beat and anything, and I would definitely think we would have put like a super dope track together with him, you know,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
that would be something fire, yeah, for me.
Yeah. I agree. I would probably also say Big L. Big L or Bismarcky.
Oh yeah,
Bismarcky could be really fun.
Queen
Yeah,
So,
Def.
yeah. Yeah, or Guru for that matter. That
Oh
would
my
oh
be
yeah,
dope too. So, but there are so many
yeah,
to, so
too much
bars.
yeah.
rappers. Only one like.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a list. I mean, look, we would also love, obviously, to work like, let's say, with Big Pun, or man,
Yeah.
it's just so many, you know. And I mean, obviously, as you know, the Snowgoons, we work with so many artists, right? And it's that's our daily bread, you know, because we live off of these features, and that's what the Snowgoons also known for, because we not like, let's say, the average artist where you know you have an album and then you have two or three features or something like that. But like the Snowgoons came up really in an era where we created our own lane by having those albums with heavy features on it, since we mainly producers, right? So that was our thing. And so you know that's why we obviously always known for features. So yeah, I mean, if you could pretty much, honestly, you could pretty much pull anybody from the 90s that's already passed, you know, we would definitely love to work with. But
Mhm.
yeah, my favorite would be definitely Big L. Like he's still like so timeless, you know. And
Mhm.
I'm sure if he would have been around today, he would still be like, you know, one of the top guys, I believe, you know, or
Mhm.
at least looked at like, you know, like we look at like Rakim or like Big Daddy Kane and the legends, you know, Coochie Rap, like those guys. He would be definitely all up there, you know,
Mhm.
no question.
Yeah.
absolutely
Definitely.
makes sense. But
Yes.
thank you for answering. Really appreciate it.
No doubt, no
We
doubt.
got a question earlier in the chat about a potential future release Onyx slash Goons. Could that be realistic?
Well, you know, we always be close with Onyx. I'm actually starting touring next month again with Onyx all over Europe, and whenever we touring, we always gonna do music. You know, last time I spoke with Fredro, well, we had the idea to do actually 100 Mad project, which means 100 Mad is like kind of the posse around Onyx, like Fredro as a mastermind putting like his artists together. He has a whole bunch of artists. Like for instance, Dope DOD from Europe is in there. Snack the Ripper is in there, and he got a whole bunch of new artists like House Kingpin and Smooth and Ricky Betts, and you know, it's just like a whole bunch of artists that he surround himself and call it the 100 Mad Crew. And so I guess this would be the next kind of closest thing to Onyx. to do a project with the 100 Mad that we're gonna produce. But also we have to say we just passed the 10-year anniversary of the Wake the Fuck Up album on 18th of March. Like it's just crazy how time is flying. When me and Sig talked about it, like, was like, damn, it is already 10 years ago. Like it's a, it's a century. That's it's
Yeah.
crazy, and yeah, but so we always gonna be close with Onyx, and let's say for now there is nothing really in the plans to do a directly Onyx and Snowgoons record, but I wouldn't also say let's not just cross it out, and it could be a possibility, just not like obviously not this year or something.
Hmm. But there are many other projects this year, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the goons always stay
Yeah.
busy, so.
Elaborate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, maybe you can talk about that, Illegal, about the AOTP thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We just dropped last Friday a brand new song with our homies from basically AOTP, from that collective. Because this all started, I mean, we always been close to all the members of AOTP, since Sick also produced a lot for the guys, and and we produced some for their solo projects as solo artists. And for anybody that's not really familiar with the AOTP crew, the Army of the Pharaohs, that's a heavy collective out of Philadelphia with the mastermind Vinny Pass, and surrounding like groups like Outer Space, King Size, Reef the Lost Cause,
Apathy,
7L Esoteric, and
self-titled.
self-titled
Yeah. Yeah.
Apathy and
Yeah.
King Magnetic, and it's like a whole bunch, like all like super duper heavy dope rappers. Blackistan, rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace, and so basically, what happened is there was a festival last year in Switzerland, and we had a show basically with Reef, King Size, and Outer Space. And when they always come to Europe, I'm usually DJing for them, and so this is what happened. We did the show in Switzerland on a festival, and yeah, it the reaction and the feedback from the crowd was so crazy. The guys was like so flashed and hyped. They're like, "Yo, this is crazy." People still know, because they haven't really performed as AOTP for years. Like, I can't remember when the last AOTP tour was. This must have been maybe 2016 or something. So it's quite a while. And when we did the show, people was like singing along the lyrics, and went really crazy for this show. So they was like, oh man, like they were so hyped after the show. And also the feedback days later on social media was definitely crazy. A lot of people were saying like, yo, this was one of the best shows of the whole festival and stuff like that. So well, we had the idea. I kind of sparked a little bit the idea to I was telling the guys like, yo, listen, you see how the guys love you, you have to do new music, you have to put something out. But they were saying, well, AOTP is not like AOTP with everybody involved. So if it's just Reef, King Size, and Outer Space, of course they represent AOTP, but they are not just AOTP, right? So if they would do some new music, it had to be like a new name or something like that. So that's why we had the idea to create this new group called Murderous Row. And it's all produced by the Snowgoons, and we just put out the very first song, Heat Wave. And it's basically exactly what you expect from AOTP. This is what you get. If you're a fan of that AOTP Cheddar Mind Trick style, this is definitely what you get served. And so we was also obviously very excited about that. And the idea went so good that we also planning a tour for later this year with those guys, and by that time a full project will be most likely out. So but it's basically we're still working on the project, and it's still a process. But yeah, there will be following some new singles now during the year and stuff. So as always, just follow our pages, follow Reef, King Size, and Outer Space pages, and of course Signature, and you will always get the newest music, of course.
That is great to hear. Absolutely great. Good to have you back, Jenna.
Hi.
Our podcast, we live for giving music recommendations to all our listeners. And I saw a question in the chat earlier. What is your current favorite artist?
Hmm. Um, Well, if we talking about hip hop, um, I don't know. I really enjoyed the last Master Ace and Marco Polo album. That's my homies, and they have really a solid album, like super dope beats and just like dope lyricism. Master Ace is obviously a OG, a legend. So I enjoyed this album a lot. But it's kind of funny. Like obviously I'm a fan of hip hop, right? But I catch myself not listening too much hip hop at the moment, which doesn't mean I don't like it anymore. But it's just, there is coming so much music out, and we be around with all of this sound all the time, and I'll be very focused on my own sound in a way. But I still try, of course, to pay attention what's coming out and what's new and what's really dope and stuff. But it is definitely difficult, because sometimes it's just not like you can listen to music all day. Like I sometimes I wish I would be just like, let's say, a fan of music and just do the music, right? But if you actually doing music yourself, it's quite different, because you also listen to music differently. You analyze the music more than you probably enjoy it. At least that's for my part. And then even me being a DJ on top, that's another level as well. So but yeah, Master Ace and Marco Polo would be something that I definitely like as far as hip hop. And I have also, of course, other taste in music. I discovered a new artist called Tizzo Touchdown, which is not too much hip hop. It's a little bit more, I would say, popish in a way, but it's cool music. So I would pick these two: Master Ace and Marco Polo, and Tizzo Touchdown.
Nice.
I would probably go for Napoleon the Legend.
Yeah.
Word,
I
yeah.
think Napoleon is very underrated in many ways. I think he's super versatile. He's just a dope MC, and he can flow on anything, man. Like he's just so universal. So I would go with Napoleon the Legend right now. Yeah.
Word.
Great shout.
Hmm.
I definitely go with the underrated teacher from Germany. She's dope. She's a very cool girl, and she flowed, and I really like her rap.
What's
Definitely
her name? Jenna, what's her name?
teacher.
Tietze.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, Tietze. Okay, got you. Yeah, German hip hop. Yeah, well,
yeah, definitely.
um,
I go with underrated stuff.
word.
Yeah,
We gotta
it's
check. Gotta
Yeah.
check.
what local acts means.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
We have
cool.
to check that out for sure.
Absolutely. We actually have a Danish podcast who's focusing on German hip hop music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Probably know PDB. Yeah, he's one of the hosts on that show. He has a huge interest in German hip hop. So I'll try to wrap
Okay.
him up there and get updated.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely exciting to see Jn Ration
Hmm.
perform in Denmark. Like obviously we've been to Denmark now together, I believe 2 times or something, but obviously she never performed there before. So is this actually is no hold up? It's not your first 4 Asian show. You had a show in Prague already, right?
Praha?
Yep, she performed in Prague, so that's because obviously, of course, if you're doing English speaking music, you're very universal. You can rock everywhere. But I think as a German artist, for in that case, or let's just say the other way around, if you'll be a Danish artist and rhyme in Danish, I'm pretty sure it would be very tough to get you some shows outside of Denmark. Like for that matter, and so of course, Jn Ration is gonna open up and heat it up, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna look forward and see how the crowd reacts to it.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
We talked about that. We are so excited to see it too, because we haven't had anything but Danish or English
Mhm.
at our show, so it's gonna be great to see how it goes. I hope the crowd will love you.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they will.
Word.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Looking
Awesome.
Yeah, Jn Ration is definitely a dope live performer too. So it's gonna be dope.
Cool.
Yes.
You're in for a treat.
Ab-
So
I'm definitely glad to be a part of it.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's just something about the general German pronunciation of the German language that makes it a little bit more hardcore. It sounds so hardcore in my ears when you say the words.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's an advantage somehow.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest, let's name it right. Like I don't really think that the German language is necessarily like a nice language per se, right? If you let's say if you compare it maybe to like Spanish or to like Italian or something, where it's a little bit more fluent in a way. But of course, I guess, I mean, since I'm not a rapper, it's kind of tough to say, but I guess you can also obviously play around with that kind of edge of the language a little bit. And with already me saying that German is not really a super nice language, and I'm just being honest. But I have to also kind of clear out a little bit. There is these videos going around where they make trying to sound the German language like really ugly, when they have this I don't know if you ever saw that when the guy is saying like, oh yeah, what is called like a butterfly in German, and then the guy say Schmetterling. And well, look, it's like it's all a I guess a style of pronunciation, because the real word is obviously it is Schmetterling, and if you say it like this, it sounds way softer than if you would say
Good point.
Schmetterling, because nobody actually in Germany beside Rammstein is rolling those R's and shit anymore. So yeah, not to defend the language, but it's of course it's just a fun video, and you're going a little bit over the top. But yeah, let's agree that German is definitely a unique language, and even me, for speaking a little bit Swedish, I can also tell that in the Scandinavian language that Danish is also a little bit more like a harder or harsher language in some pronunciations, than like Swedish, where it's more kind of almost sounding like singing and stuff.
Norwegian too.
At least from what I can tell, and so yeah, it's that's also what is really beautiful about music, because music is a universal language, no matter which language you speak. But I'm pretty sure everybody can like at least feel an emotion of a song or something. You can tell if it's more like, let's say, an aggressive style, or if it's more like a little bit laid back style and stuff like that. And that's definitely a beauty about the music. And I think this is also a big part why I became a producer, because I started as a DJ and I started playing around with the turntables and with the beats. And then when I got really into producing, what I really loved about hip hop is because I think hip hop is still the most versatile music there is, and no disrespect to any other genre. Every genre has like his own thing. Like, let's just say, for instance, rock music. With the rock music, in every other music genre, I think you are a little bit more limited than hip hop, and I don't mean it disrespectful, or like, don't want to downgrade any other music, but like I said, like rock, for example, you have like obviously the classic stuff like guitar, bass, drums, and maybe some keys. And then, of course, there is other artists that use plenty other of instruments into rock music. But overall, it's basically the same sound, right? Because you're not gonna do rock music that sounds like something classic or whatever. But with hip hop, what I liked always with hip hop is you can use like a very exotic sample, right? Like some fluent music or something. And then the next you have some strings and then some pianos and any type of instruments, or like even the weirdest sounding sounds that you can't even kind of figure out what kind of instruments this is supposed to be. And that's what I always loved about music, because of hip hop music, because it's like so versatile, and there is no boundaries. You can literally use any sound you want and make it your own and create something new.
That's
Yep.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And let us talk about some of our. Let's get the viewers involved as well. To all who's watching right now, please drop a comment in the chat right now. What is your all-time favorite Snowgoons track? Let us hear that in the comments. And if I may start out, let me start out. I mean, the Goon Bap album is one of my all-time favorite albums. I'm listening to that on my daily playlist. I've been doing it since you released it. If I should pick one, We Won't Die. It's just absolutely brilliant. I freaking love that track. But I love the entire album.
Hmm.
But if I ask you guys, what is one of your favorite tracks you worked with on yourselves over the years? I know it's a difficult question.
It's definitely difficult because you know we did so much music. But just to bring it back real quick to Goonbap, when you said like "We Won't Die," it's kind of funny because that was actually the very first song that we did for this album before we had even the idea of the album. We did this song, and I don't know if you remember, Sick, but we did this song already and filmed the video years before in Canada with Werewolf. So the song was already there before we had even the idea of the Goonbap album, basically, you know.
Hmm.
So that's kind of crazy that you picked this song because obviously it's one of the more popular songs from the album. But yeah, that with that song, technically the whole project kind of started, you
Yeah.
know. Yep, yep. That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And if I would say one song that I really it's really tough because you know, I look obviously at my music, at my own music different. And but I guess it's probably for me it's probably even less the music itself, but more like maybe the progress of a
Hmm.
song or the artist that is connected with, right? Because I have obviously, of course, an for most parts of the songs we have a direct connection because we did the music. So I can tell definitely for me it's for example Starlight, which will have a lot of people as maybe their favorite.
Mhm.
And it's mainly because of Vivo the Virus, the way we connected back then, and the way how the song came together, and then especially what happened to Vivo afterwards, and all of this makes this song just so much more special, you know. And yeah, so I would probably pick Starlight as a song for myself if I would have to say a Snowgoon song.
Yeah. It's if you ask me, I think I would probably go with Boom Bap or Freedom. And the
Hmm.
reason why I would go with those two songs are because this is like one of those few times where I got to switch up from doing punchline based verses to actually telling a story, to actually talking about the reason why we do what we do. Like Goom Bap is a tribute to hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically the
Yep.
talking about the foundation of why we even doing what we're doing. And Freedom is also a part of that. Like it's kind of like telling a story about how writing songs actually, you know, helped me in a way, you know. So those that's why those two Snowgoon songs are special to me. But I also like songs like The Curse, for example, which is
Hmm.
like one of the older ones because it's just this was the first time I got to drop a verse on a Snowgoon song ever.
Hmm. True.
So that's kind of special to me too, and I still think even though the verse is really old, I still think it's a cool verse in a way, and the beat is banging, produced by DJ Illegal. So you know, but there's so many, you know, and
Yeah.
if I could go for a song that doesn't have me on it, which is like, you know, when it's only other features that are on it, it's just really tough to pick one because there are so many dope rappers that did great jobs on Snowmoon songs. So yeah, but
Word.
yeah, Starlight is definitely up there because Viral, he
Yeah.
was an incredible artist, rest in peace. But there are many other songs that are dope that
Yep. If
what you know
if you know,
came out
if I
great.
read the comments, somebody just said also The Curse or Black Snow, you know, and
Mm,
obviously for a lot of people the Black Snow album is their favorite album, and it is, of course, it is to us basically also this is actually really the, and not to disrespect our first album German Lucas, because that's kind of like a diamond in the rough or some, but we really, for us, always when we look back, the Snowgoons really started kind of with the Black Snow album because that was when Signature was then part of the process in a way already, you know, and he connected artists. He had the verse on the Curse song, like you said, and that's when we made our first decisions together, kind of basically as a group before the group even was there. Before, like Six said, before we put him officially in the group, you know, but that was the first time that we worked together and collaborated together, and so, in a way, I guess this is actually the really starting point of the Snowgoons with the Black Snow album. So that's why the Black Snow album also will always stay special, you know. And a lot of people also, which is one of their favorite songs, is The Hatred, because of that energy. It has like that dark kind of sound, the same as The Curse or Black Snow. It's just that dark kind of hip hop that we did back then. And a lot of people could relate to that in a way, you know. And that's obviously what we always stand for, you know. So I see now how it changed a little bit over the years because people start realizing what the Snowgoons is really about. But I do remember in the first couple of years, a lot of people was like downsizing the Snowgoons to like, oh yeah, they do this cinematic hardcore beats, you know, and that's basically it. But I think honestly, we definitely kind of evolved, and I wouldn't say we grow out of it because we still do kind of that kind of music, you know, when you hear like an Onyx album or whatever, like we still have those beats. But of course we evolved, and that's very important too, in my opinion, you know. We really do songs that has like all types of topics. It goes in any direction, and that also comes obviously with the artists that we working with, because every artist that we work with brings on his own style, and for the majority of the songs, the artist is picking the beat, right? We give them an option, so he will pick the beat that he thinks fits the best for him as well. So it is literally always a collaboration, and I think this is also what Snowgoons brought to the next level, because we're not just doing one-dimensional hardcore cinematic beats. We really stepped up with the Goon Bap, for example. We brought a lot of funk back in there, you know, and taking it back to the real sense of hip hop and stuff like that. And I think this is also a big part of why we still relevant in a way, you know. Because I'm pretty sure if we would have stayed like in one lane and just did like those hardcore beats and nothing else, I'm not sure if we would be still here, or like, or at least there where the Snowgoons are right now, you know.
Yeah. Also, I don't think we're supposed to do the same all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, if we do the same projects all over, like over and over again, it's not exciting for the listeners or us. You know, we have to kind of expand in different directions and try new things out and stuff like that. You know,
Yep.
so but we still do the epic stuff too.
Of
I
course.
think, you know, it's just yeah.
It's just a different thing. And
Hmm.
I mean, if you look really back now, we have really a lot of music out there, right? Like, just like sometimes you even forget, we forget about what we did. Like, let's say even the MOP album is a whole statement itself, you know? Like,
Hmm.
a lot of people tell me that this is also one of their favorite MOP albums, you know? And
Hmm.
that's actually really a statement as well. If you think what MOP has accomplished, you know, and what their sound is. And then we had the project, the Goondocks, for example, with Sean Strange and PMD, who is also an absolute hip hop legend, you know, with EPMD. And then yeah, somebody just mentioned in the comments. I tried to read a little bit the comments. Somebody mentioned Goon Mode. With the Grind Mode Cypher guys, you know, they have their own thing, really dope spitters, and they doing their ciphers. And when we got together, we created also something really unique, since the Grind Mode Cypher guys never really released music like that as Grind Mode Cypher, because for them it was all about the YouTube and the ciphers. And then when we got together, we created something new and made a whole album about like ciphers, basically, you know. And yeah, and it's man, it's so much stuff in the work. And then if you look at it on the bigger picture, even Signature has his own style, you know, like he has his music that is obviously Signature style, that has a lot of topics and a lot of meanings and a lot of, you know, which is different from the average Snowgoons track, I would say, in a way, you know. And so that's why we give you a lot of music, you know, if you look at the big Snowgoons picture, you know. And then not even to mention the whole Goon music roster, you know. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, and we got also an album in the pipeline with Lords of the Underground, which supposed to be out already, but then it's kind of got rolled over by Corona in a way, you know. But I'm pretty confident to say that we finally gonna release it this year. There's already 2 songs out, and they received very well. Signature produced a crazy banger with Lords of the Underground and Onyx together, the What's Up joint. And we have more of that on the album, you know. So this is something definitely also to look out for this year for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully it drops this year.
Yep,
That's
yep,
the plan, right?
exactly. Yep, that's the plan. Like I said, I feel confident that we finally put it out this year.
Mm.
Yeah, because a reason is also, I believe, yeah, in April now is coming up some shows with Onyx, Lords of the Underground, and Nonfiction, and that's a
Mm.
crazy lineup if you're looking at that, right? Like if, I mean, this is like free power hip hop groups on one stage. That's and we will be touring all over Europe throughout the year actually. I have shows lined up all the way till to July, so I'm going to be a lot on the road this year. Always representing the music, of course. But yeah, so hopefully we will roll out the Lords of the Underground Snowgoons project as well. The title of it is so legendary, so this is already set in stone. We just need to have the release date and everything.
Mm.
We
Yeah, it's
can.
gonna be dope.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like
Yes.
you're gonna get a hell of a summer there.
Yeah. Definitely, like always, we always staying busy. I'm just trying to read some of the comments.
Yeah.
Somebody said like gym music. Yeah, it's because if you look at it, the Hatred is such a powerful song, right? The beat itself, and we saw on playlists, it's heavily featured on a lot of gym workout and bodybuilding playlists. And I kind of like that fact because it tells you that our music definitely is moving, like it moves people literally, and they choose this song for their workout list because it gives them energy and everything. And I think that's a very big compliment, because there is basically no bigger compliment than from people getting recognition about your song, that it actually do something, creates feelings or makes you move. Like if you go into the gym and work out to Snowgoons music, then you already know you're gonna be an animal in a year if you keep doing that, So that's a big
Exactly.
I
that's a
hope
big
so. I use every
yeah,
week my workouts, both Snowgoons and Signature. So I hope I'm gonna be a beast.
nice. Yeah, because we bring in that energy for sure.
Yeah. And yo, just real quick, to all of those who just joined right now, we're gonna be live in Denmark in Randers on Saturday, the 30th. So if
Exactly.
you guys are nearby, you should come to the show. It's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And Jn Ration is gonna be there too. By the way, Jn Ration, maybe you can talk about what you're working on right now.
Oh, actually, right now I don't working on anything.
That's not true. That's not true. You have a song coming up with Frankie V, right?
but yeah, I'm working with Frankie V. He's from America.
He's from the
Main
Grind Mode Cypher Collective. Yeah. Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you.
about the World War actually. And it's like we talk about the black helicopters and stuff like that, like small pieces are for you, but stay tuned.
Yeah.
I don't want to pressure out for So
But overall, you're working on your album as well, right?
yeah, exactly. Since last year.
Yeah, I mean,
No stress.
you, yeah, you
Five.
see, yeah, I
Sometimes,
mean,
yeah.
you see, this is the beauty of it. We don't try to push things out and just to do music, right? Like, Generation is working on her own pace, and yeah, sorry that I speak for her now, but she's definitely a little bit shy today, I think. But yeah, she's working on her thing, and the beauty of it is for me looking on her, like doing her music. I try to push her a little bit, of course, but at the end of the day, it's not like that we want to hit the charts and that we need to say like, oh, we have to have a new single now, and you need to keep your thing going and up to the next. That's not the point. Like she really, I can tell, like she does the music with passion, and everything she writes, she puts 100% in it, and as an artist, sometimes it's not like you're going to work from 9 to 5. Sometimes there can go by weeks where you're not really feeling creating some music, and you can't really force that in a way. I mean, maybe some artists can that, but that's the same for me. There is maybe sometimes 2 weeks where I haven't done any beats or anything. I'm just not in the mood. I don't really feel like it. I do other things. There's a lot of stuff going on with Goon music, and so on. And then in 1 second it comes, and then I'm like, oh man, I feel like doing a beat now. And then I sit there, and then it can be 5, 6, 7 hours, and you knock out some beats, you know, and then all of a sudden you're in the mood and you do it. So I guess that's definitely also one of the big things that we enjoy, to have this freedom as Snowgoons with Goon Music as the label, because we setting our own pace. You know, we never be forced to put out music just because. You know, so we do this because we love it, and we do it on our own scale and our own pace in our own time, and that's the beauty of it. And I think Generation has, like, right now, a phase of her music where she's just not too close in a way, but she does also a lot of other artist stuff, like tell them, like, you, for example, like pretty much like 90% of all the artwork that's coming out in the last year or something, for a lot of projects, a lot of singles, she's doing actually the artwork, you know. And that's also a part of being creative and being involved in the music, you know. And so that's definitely another really talent of Generation, doing a lot of designs. She does a lot of stickers, artwork, and all of this stuff, you know. And that's of course also a big part of the music nowadays.
Yeah, and a
Right.
big outlet of your artistry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did you make your own
Look,
logo, the Generation logo?
huh?
The Generation logo here on Instagram, the little character.
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Okay.
It wasn't me. It's
Okay.
like it was a guy from Italia.
Oh,
Yeah, he made it. Sometimes you need more space to your logo. So I tried to find my logo, but it doesn't match. So I can't feel it. So I asked some people, hey, could you do something for me? A logo, whatever you like. And he made it, and I said, yo, I like that really much. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And of course, I work with lots of artists like Edu G, make his vinyl design. We do good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
with
the last LOT album, she designed the whole
I
artwork and everything, you know. And that's definitely something beautiful too.
yeah, and with Tone Spliff, I worked
yeah.
together. I made his next album right now. It's not. I don't think. Yeah, but I can't talk about it. I think so. I think
Yeah, it's
it's
not
not
out
out.
yet, right?
it's on its way, and now we know who did all the artwork. That's all.
Yeah.
Like that. But we have to know. We have to ask you too, Jenna. What is your favorite track of your own?
Oh, my favorite track of my
Yeah.
own. Oh, I think it's How I Roll.
Yeah.
How I Roll means for me more than the others because I go my way in the music business in my own small my own small business, and it comes back to the 90s. Well, so yeah, I think How I Roll is one of my best, and I really like that, and I can listen to it right now always. So I had no problem to listen to my own music. So
Start.
Right.
Exactly.
yeah,
You also did a video for How I Roll, right?
yeah, I was in Praha with the
Oh yeah.
guys, my family, right?
Yeah, yeah, we saw it. It's pretty cool.
It is so dope.
You look so tough in that video. You look really, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
She also produced that beat herself.
Oh, dope.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So you do
course.
everything.
Yeah, I have the best teacher.
Yeah, huge multi-talent. We love that here.
Actually, we can touch here on music videos because I'm from the '90s as well, where hip hop music videos was the freaking thing. But music videos have had some tough years. But you're still bringing some awesome music videos, right? Both for Snowgoons and all the projects you work on.
Okay.
Do you enjoy
Yeah.
to make videos?
Once again, please.
Do you enjoy to shoot music videos?
Yeah, I really like that. I like to organize all stuff and all things, and I like to bring the people together to celebrate the music, right?
Mm.
It's like a small party every time when you make these videos.
Yeah, definitely with the How I Roll, you can definitely see that. We just literally went in Prague on the street and had some fun, and I was rolling the camera. I was actually filming for the most parts, and so we just had fun basically, and I think this is really what the video is transporting, in a way. So yeah, and I think it's just also, I guess, a own way to express yourself being in the video basically, because obviously as an artist, if you be the rapper, everything is self-centered, and you be technically always the center of attention. But I think it's definitely important to keep the fun in there as well, and that's in that video. It's definitely authentic. We just had fun. Like, it wasn't never really even planned that they do the breakdance stuff, but they just pulled out like the cardboard on the floor and start popping some moves
Oh,
a little bit, and
oh
there was not
really?
even a really b-boy on in the crowd like that, but it was just fun, and I just filmed it, and I was like, yo, this looks just like fun, so let's do it. It's mad cool. Yeah.
Of course, cool.
Or
Let me see, is
Yeah,
there some more
yeah.
questions from people?
I saw some question with the vision of Escaflowne. Yeah, I love it. I definitely love it. I think it starts I don't know when, like few minutes ago, they asked some the what you cut in the music. So from the vision of Escaflowne, you remember?
What you mean, like the sample of
Yeah,
the
this
music?
is my this was my favorite anime right there.
Oh,
Oh,
you mean the
okay.
anime series where you
Yeah.
sampled it from? Okay, okay, now I got you. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you probably shouldn't give away too much credits for the sampling. We don't want to get you in trouble here, but yeah, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, people who are fans of the series know that, of course. I'm still going through the comments real quick, see if we can catch up something there. There's um some people. Let me see.
I saw there was a favorite Danish hip hop DJ K5, who also gave
Hmm.
it up for your track, Jenna. How I Roll.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I think also, which is kind of weird to me, but like German hip hop, for some reason, definitely went a little bit out of borders in Europe. For instance, in Poland and in Czech Republic, German hip hop is quite popular. Not obviously as popular as US hip hop, but still more than you would could expect. I remember very. I was on. This must have been in like maybe 2010. I was on tour with somebody, and we was in Poland, and there was open up some Polish guys, and then the DJ, before the openers, he played some, the regular 90s music, but then all of a sudden he was playing like Cool Savage and some German songs, and even the crowd kind of reacted to it, and I saw a couple people was kind of knowing the songs and the lyrics or whatever, and I was really surprised because I would never assume that on a Polish like hip hop show, that somebody would pop out like some German hip hop songs. But this really happened, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I really see. And then I guess it kind of makes sense because if you see, Germany is like the center of Europe, if you want to say it like that, without sounding too arrogant or something. But it's just literally the center or in the on the map. And then German music obviously expands to Switzerland and to Austria, since it's all German speaking languages. And so therefore, obviously, of course, you have definitely a bigger audience with those three countries combined in a way. But yeah, it's, once again, I'm definitely super excited to see how Generation is gonna get the response from the Danish crowd, and how it will be received. So that's definitely dope to see for
yep,
sure.
it's gonna be dope.
And we obviously know what to expect about all your guys' show on Saturday. But if you should tell people in the chat what to expect for the show on Saturday.
Oh well, I mean, Sig already performed there, and so I think also from our experience, just like looking at the bigger picture, once you hit like cities, first of all, where we never have really been as Snowgoons, and especially if it's all, let's say, like smaller cities, right? Like, I mean, let's keep it real. We're not talking about Copenhagen here, right? But it's sometimes those shows are really more fun because you can tell, like me and Sig, we did for instance, we did some like really super small cities in Switzerland or even in Norway, like where usually people don't really go. And some of these shows have been like really super fun because you can tell like they don't have too much hip hop there, especially for Asian hip hop, and therefore they react a little bit different. You know, you get definitely a lot of energy compared to where you when you go maybe to like Copenhagen or Berlin,
Hmm.
the big cities, you know, where they have everyday hip hop shows, almost kind of, it feels like, or at least every weekend, right? So the excitement for those people there is not as big as if you go to like smaller cities or like left out cities, and that's
Hmm.
definitely something we're looking for because I'm pretty sure the energy will be there, you know. That's absolutely for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty close to the stage. You know all about that
Yeah,
scene.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I still remember some of those shows around Europe where, like for example, we had a show in Paris once, and there weren't that many people, but then we drove like 2 hours outside of Paris, and it was like 250 people or something. It was sold out. Remember Illegal? Like when we
Mm-hmm.
got there, and we just talked about it wasn't that far
Right.
outside of Paris, but just because there are so many things happening in Paris, it like the promotion gets drowned or whatever. And I also remember once we were touring with Reef the Lost Cause,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in Germany, and I remember we were in this like very small city somewhere, and it almost looked like a barn. Like we went to like this
Oh
barn.
yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah,
Yep.
and it was like this big spot, like this. It almost looked like a big restaurant, almost like inside the barn, and there was a stage in the corner. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna perform for like three people here with this big room, and then people showed up, and it was just
Right.
mad crazy. It was like 200 something people. I can't
Right.
remember, but it was definitely we. So yeah, sometimes it's just really fun to go outside the big cities, and I think Ranas is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Ranas is definitely something. It's not a small city, but it's not like Copenhagen size.
Right.
But there's definitely really good energy there, and I remember this was like way back in the days, way before I even joined Snowgoons or anything, or even before I started touring overseas. I had a show at Funhattan with some other rappers, and I remember this being my favorite show on that tour. So it's always just great energy in Ranos. There's just something about it, and that's just why it's definitely, for me, it's very special to go there. It's a fun hat, and as like one of my favorite venues in Denmark, and then perform with DJ Illegal and Jn Ration this time, so it's going to be crazy. I know.
Word. Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we are so excited for it. We look so much forward to it. And thank you to all three of you for taking your time to hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. I talked a little bit early on about the merch shop on Saturday. Is going to be freaking lit
Mhm.
because we're going to fill it up with our own, the Ledge T-shirt, and we know you're bringing some dope merch.
Mhm.
I gotta ask, are you bringing some vinyls as well?
Yes, definitely we will. Absolutely. We
Awesome.
will. We will have a lot of stuff. So yeah, you better bring your money because we will have a lot of stuff now. But yeah, we will definitely bring some shit. Yeah, it's see that's the beauty of it too. Since we have Goon Music and our own label, we also creating, of course, our own merch and our own releases. It's kind of funny when we look back now. Remember, Sick, in the beginning when we were signed to Baby Grand, since the label handling all the pressing of vinyl and CDs and stuff like that. And it was in a real distribution and stuff, and of course back then it was a different time. You really had like still stores that carried like vinyl and CDs commercially, so it made sense to do it in the distribution. But we was literally going out on shows and tours and dropped a new album and had not a single copy for ourselves even,
Right.
like no
Everybody
vinyl
was
and nothing.
asking.
and
Yeah.
people was asking like crazy. So that's why we was coming in the beginning also up with some CDs, like mix CDs, so we could at least sell something, you know. And it was never even about like making a dollar. It was just also because people asking, and of course we want to, you know, give them something. But yeah, now it's just better. Everything is in our hands with Goon Music, and we will bring definitely a lot of Snowgoons and Signature vinyl, and Super Kaiju as well. Somebody was just asking Sig in the comments. You saw that they want a new Super Kaiju album,
Oh, word.
because I think also the Super Kaiju project, man, they came out always fire. You know, it's definitely dope.
Big up.
Yeah. Yeah. Salute to Napoleon the Legend. And I saw the comment, and will we work on more Super Kaiju stuff? Probably. Right now, Napoleon the Legend is super busy doing his own thing, like he always is. And we're working on new Snowgoon stuff. So right now we're doing separate things, but we're really good friends, and so we talk once in a while. So I'm sure we're gonna do more music together. Yeah.
Word. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Dope. Someone
yeah, man.
asked if you're coming to Canada later this year.
Canada, well, I wouldn't exclude it, but for now there is no really plans. Obviously it's still early in the year, and who knows what we're doing. But yeah, but we always love Canada, man. Canada is always fun, you know. It's I mean, I don't know if somebody ever been to Canada. It's definitely a fun country, you know. It's like ah man, how you describe it? Like it's kind of almost like a cleaner version of the US or something in a way, you know. But yeah, it's always super fun in Canada, man. We always enjoyed. We did already like 3-4 tours at least in Canada, and it's just always really super fun, man. Like people are cool over there, and we I don't know for whatever reason, but we always ending up having a lot of fun, you know. It's people are mad relaxed and cool, and you know it's never stressful. So yeah, hopefully we go back this year to Canada, but yeah, for now there is no really plans.
Definitely the bagel from Tim Hortons.
Tim
Oh,
Hortons. Tim Hortons.
word.
Yeah,
But
man.
Denmark is the next stop, and we are looking so much forward to see you guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
100%. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy.
We're
To be
looking forward
back.
to see a lot of people join us this Saturday in Randers in Denmark for a Snowgoons live show. It's going to be fire. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you all three joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, shout out
Likewise,
to Know the
likewise.
Ledge. Know the Ledge. The legends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Always a
Definitely, man. Yep. I'm looking forward to cop my Know the Ledge t-shirt on the weekend for sure.
I'm in
I
green.
need a new one. I wore mine too many times, so I need a new one now. So I'm kind of
Word.
yeah, you deserve. But I have a reputation. I'm the businesswoman in this thing, and I have to be a hard knuckle to do business with.
But I
Come
want
on, a little discount should.
Cars you have.
Yes. What?
A
We
little,
also have black t-shirts.
Black.
okay, yeah, that's the classic
Yeah,
It looks
word.
like
But
yes.
we got it right here. So this.
Oh,
yeah.
dope.
nice. Yeah, but a little discount should be in there for us. Or I mean, come on.
at least.
Cool.
It's going to be
We could also do a shirt swap. You know, like
Exactly.
shirt for shirt. That's fair.
Yeah. I'm always up for a shirt swap.
Cool.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let you go.
All
See you next weekend.
See you on
Sure.
the weekend already. Yeah, it's
So
this week,
soon.
right? It's Monday today, so we see you on Saturday.
On Saturday, it's gonna be crazy.
Yes,
Definitely, man.
can't
Everybody
wait.
come to the show. It's gonna be nuts.
Word.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you got to get in early.
Yeah, I gotta get.
That's what's up. All right. Salute, everybody.
Salute.
Stay safe. See you on the
Salute.
weekend.
See you.